नाज़रीन अस्सलाम वालेकुम। लाइव फ़ोन इन इंटरेक्टिव प्रोग्राम टेल क्लास रूम के आज के शुमारे में आप सभी का पूरे टेल क्लास रूम टीम की तरफ से इस्तकबाल है, खैर मकदम है। उम्मीद है आप सब खैर आफ़ियत से होंगे और ये दुआ है रब्बुल आलमीन से कि आने वाला वक्त भी खैर और आफ़ियत वाला ही वक्त हो। नाज़रीन, ये प्रोग्राम एक एजुकेशनल प्रोग्राम है, जैसा कि आप बखूबी जानते हैं, और ये प्रोग्राम एक समर बारी दरख्त की तरह है जिसमें बहुत सारे फ़वायदे हमें मिलते हैं, जिसका एक बुनियादी फ़ायदा ये है कि हमें एजुकेशन मिलती है, इससे हमें अवेयरनेस मिलती है और इल्म की रोशनी से ये महफिल रोशनास हो जाती है। लेकिन कुछ गैर मामूली फ़ायदे भी इसके हैं, जो ये कि हम इस प्रोग्राम के ज़रिए इन्फ्लुएंस करने की कोशिश करते हैं। हम स्टूडेंट्स को इन्फ्लुएंस करने की कोशिश करते हैं, हम टीचर्स को इन्फ्लुएंस करने की कोशिश करते हैं। हम जो जिन पैनल्स को हम दावत देते हैं अपने प्रोग्राम में, हम यहाँ उन्हें रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं आने के लिए। उनका जो एक्सपीरियंस है या उनकी जो नॉलेज होती है, उससे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स और बहुत सारे जो टीचर्स वो बिल्कुल इन्फ्लुएंस हुए हैं, जिसका हमारे पास सबूत हमारे ईमेल्स या हमारे फ़ोन लाइंस के ज़रिए होता है। इस कोशिश में हम इंशाअल्लाह और हम लगातार रहेंगे, लेकिन आपकी हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि आपकी दुआएं हमेशा हमारे साथ होंगी। इसी उम्मीद के साथ और आपकी दुआओं के साथ आज के प्रोग्राम, आज के शुमारी की शुरुआत करेंगे, जहां मेज़बानी के फ़राइज़ अंजाम दूंगा मैं, आपका मेज़बान नियाज़ बट, और मेरा साथ निभाएंगी हुमैरा शफ़ी।
जी, आपका बेहद शुक्रिया नियाज़ भाई। Well friends, assalamu alaikum. Hope you're doing well. Well friends, today I want to tell you something about the importance of the failures. Yeah, you heard it right. And then accepting the failures and learning from the same. But identifying the essential requirements of the preparation and then following the same, that is something very challenging, you know. But I've just seen that most of the people, what they do when they fail in exams, they do blame the system, the examiners, the pen and everything, apart from yourself. But I think this is the disastrous step, you know. It will just keep you away from improvement, because once you deny your failures, there is no scope of any improvement. So the point that I really want to make is that the success and the failure, this is the part of life. Exactly. And you know what makes the difference between the student who succeed and the student who does not succeed is that the students who give up easily in the days of the frustration and disappointments, they will not succeed. Whereas the students who, you know, who despite of the failure and the frustration life continue in, you know, in this, then they will definitely succeed. Yeah.
I think the message is so clear and so good that it's very important for the students. They should continuously, in fact, in other life matters, it's also important, Humaira, we should continuously try our efforts best, and we are also trying our efforts in this program to have some success. For that, you have to also connect with us. This program is only dependent upon your calls and your phones, your calls and your emails, where we dependent on your comments, your suggestions, and all these things we come up with in this live program. This program is actually a step towards having the better educational system, having what I earlier said, having an influence on the society, so that the educational scenario will be better, we will get the better results. And we also try to motivate, like we had a message, a beautiful message from Humaira, that you have to continuously
make your efforts,
give your efforts continuously in our program, so that we can succeed. And your efforts are very, very important for us. It's not this program only we come up with here with a panel or with the students and we just coordinate the program. No, it's very important for us that your suggestions, all the viewers who view this program, give us suggestions, exact suggestions, so that this continuous effort will go and go on and go on, so that we will succeed. So for these efforts, I really request you, please call on us on our phone number 0194 2481 or 0194 2481 832. Besides that, you can also email us on our email ID ddkteleclassroom@gmail.com. इसके बरक्स मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि if you have not subscribed our channel, just click on the bell icon, so that all the notifications of this channel DD Kashir come up to you.
Exactly. Well friends, for today's program we have chosen the subject called English, and the topic is punctuation. And I must tell you that this punctuation, you know, in the English language, it helps the reader to understand the sentence, and it is used to create a sort of sense,
and the
stress,
real meaning,
and the clarity in the sentences.
I was always very weak in the part of the punctuation. I hope today this
all your
lecture
doubts will clarify.
Inshallah Rahman. If you have also some weakness in your program, in your this punctuation part of this English or a grammar, please stick to us in this program. We had a special teacher, a special panel which is always recommended by our viewers through our emails and phone lines. Our teacher, today's teacher for the subject, for this topic punctuation, is Hassan War, presently posted as lecturer, Girls Higher Secondary School, Magam. He is also a resource person for various educational initiatives in programs. We are really blessed to host you, sir, here.
Yes.
And today's, as this earlier said, this program is dependent upon the questions also and interaction also. All the questions will be cleared by today's subject expert, Rafi Ahmad Masoodi, ex-deputy CEO, ex-deputy CEO. He's also an expert in the language of the English, and his suggestions have been always very good and beneficial to us. We had our school I welcome the school from Government High School Boys, Pet Makama. Welcome students here.
Welcome. Very warm welcome.
And I would like to say you one thing more, that we have a special student guest here, Sahrish Gul here. She was our regular viewer from the Bangalore.
Exactly, yeah. She
she's
keeps
on the
calling
leave
us.
from especially come here, and
From
we have invited her. Thank you, Sahrish, for coming here.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. I also want to thank the headmasters and the administration of this school, Hafiza Bano, who she helped us for bringing the students all the way from here. And we had some teachers here, Ali Muhammad Rathar. I'm also thankful for them, for this whole team and for this whole effort. I'm feeling myself really blessed. And this stage is looking beautiful by all these efforts.
Ji haan. Well, friends, now it's time to take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to the program called Tele Class Room with this topic of punctuations, with coming up, clearing all these errors we had been doing by Hassan War, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, dear students. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sir.
And assalamu alaikum to all the viewers. Today, I am here just to discuss about punctuation. I would like to tell you first what punctuation means and why do we need punctuation. This is very important. Actually, punctuation, these are the signs, these are the marks, and these are the symbols that we generally use in writing, English writing. Punctuation is actually the use of writing English correctly. Without a punctuation mark, a sentence or a clause or the sentences that look nacked. What I say? That the meaning is not clear. So if a punctuation mark or a symbol is used incorrectly or not properly, the meaning of a sentence can change. Not only that, it makes sometimes the readers angry and perplexed what actually the writer means to say. That's why punctuation is very essential as per the writing part is concerned. So when you as students or we as writers want to write anything, we have to take full care of these punctuation marks. Otherwise, the meaning of a sentence can change. So there are many these symbols. These can be called as symbols, we can say as marks, or we can say as signs. And how these are used, that I'll be discussing with you. These are many marks in English, but how do we use them? So first of all, I'll tell you the symbols, regarding the symbols, what they are. These are, sometimes we use the capital letters, and you must be able to know what is a capital letter and what is a small letter. In English, we write different things. But before that, before discussing these symbols, I think better to give you some examples that how the meaning of a sentence can change. For example, I'll write here some sentence. I have written here a sentence, but I have not used the marks of punctuation. And if I ask you just to give me the meaning of the sentence, can you? Please read the sentence and tell me the meaning.
Nimra says Nazish is a gentle girl.
So what do you mean? Who is a gentle girl?
Nazish is a gentle.
So as per your statement, Nazish. But see, let me now use these punctuation marks.
Sir, you have still used that full stop.
Yeah.
That is also punctuation.
That's also punctuation because that was a sentence. Because without a full stop, we cannot say that it is a sentence. Maybe the writer wants to write something more. So when it is full stop, because I am discussing about full stop later on, but let you read this sentence now.
Yes, sir.
Once again. Nimra.
Nimra.
Now let me read it now. Nimra says Nazish is a gentle girl. Who is a gentle girl? So you just said that it is Nazish. So without the use of commas, our meaning can change. Let me give you one more sentence. For example, here, once again.
Students work hard.
So what do you mean by? Do you have some meaning in your mind? What is the meaning of this sentence?
No.
If I, without any comma, without any,
using
only the full stop is here. Students work hard. I can add some more part of during examination. Now the meaning is clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Students work hard during examination. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will put comma here. Students
Work hard.
work hard. Now it is something different.
Yes, sir.
It is an advice now from a
Yes.
teacher
To
to his
student.
student, isn't it? So the meaning changes
Yes,
sir.
sir.
when I put comma here. So don't think that comma is just a symbol, but when you put a comma in a sentence, you know what happens? The meaning totally changes.
Totally gets changed.
Let me give you one more example of this, because comma is the shortest pause in a sentence. For example, please give me the meaning of this sentence.
Women
Women without her
man
is
is
nothing.
Can you give me the meaning?
No, sir.
No.
Anybody?
Not exactly. No.
I am just writing the sentence. A sentence is like this: woman without her man is nothing. What do you think? Who is nothing? Man or woman?
Man.
If you say, because I don't put a comma here as yet.
Yes, sir.
If I put a comma here first, woman without her, man is
Man
nothing.
is nothing.
Now see, man is nothing,
Nothing
here.
without
But
women. Yeah.
woman without her man
is nothing.
is
nothing.
nothing. Now the woman is nothing. So this is the power of comma.
Comma.
And it is not only the comma in English. Let us discuss. This is what I actually mean to say, that all the punctuation marks, these symbols are very important.
Important.
So these are some of the sentences that tell us, yes, it is true that any punctuation mark can change the meaning of a sentence. I'll just write one sentence in Urdu here, because you are the students of class 10th and you read even in Urdu. See, very simple.
Roko mat jaane do.
If I put a comma here, roko mat jane do. So comma is a pause.
Yes, sir.
Roko mat jane do.
jane do.
But if I just write here the same thing, roko mat
Roko mat
jane do. So total meaning of the
Meaning
sentence
change.
can change.
Right.
And this is actually the punctuation.
Punctuation.
And same is the case when we use it in writing. If any student or any writer just puts the comma anywhere, you know
sir.
what happens? The reader, he gets perplexed that why this comma is here, what is the meaning? So meaning of a sentence can change. Okay, so it is clear now that punctuation is very important as per the writing is concerned. Otherwise, any misproper or improper use of punctuation mark can totally change the meaning of a sentence. Now, there are many these symbols, or I can say signs of punctuation in English language, and same we can find in Urdu, in other languages also. The first thing is that is capitalization.
Capitalization.
That is very important. Use of a capital letter. You know, when we start writing English, we just start with a capital letter.
Capital
And you know what is a capital letter and what is a small letter.
Yes.
Do you feel any difference?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Because we write capital letters like this, A, B, C, up to Z. When I talk about small letters, we write like this, okay? Where to use? In the very beginning of every sentence.
Yes, sir.
Beginning of every word. That means the first word of every sentence begins with a capital letter.
The letter, yes.
For example, students or our future. Here is a sentence, and I have put full stop here.
Yes, sir.
The C here, S is
S
written
is
as
written
capital.
Capital, yes, sir.
So this is that I can say we use the first letter or first word
First one.
in every sentence, because a sentence ends with a full stop. You know this. Without, there are many kinds of sentences where we do not use even full stop. Can you tell me? Which are they?
Interrogative.
Yes,
Exclamatory
there
sentences.
no doubt we use some other types of punctuation marks. So in assertive and imperative type of sentences, we use full stop. And in exclamatory and interrogative type of sentence, we use other marks other than full stop that I am going to tell you.
Yes, sir.
This is that we use the first letter of first word, and it is found also that every line of poetry, even if that starts with half, that is generally, nowadays some poets do not use, but generally the first letter of every verse of a poem starts with a capital letter.
Yes.
Not only that, the pronoun, the proper nouns. And when we talk about proper nouns, there we can for example, I am talking about a girl, I am talking about a boy, I am talking about river, I am talking about mountains. When we name these things, these become proper. These become
Yes.
so whenever we write a name, proper name, that also starts with a capital letter in a sentence. In a sentence. That's very important to remember. And in English, we use abbreviations.
Yes, sir.
Abbreviations are also used as capital letters. For example, USA, USSR, or other abbreviations. And we write, for example, MA, MSc, other things, whatever, MA, BEd, etc., etc. So we use these start with these capital letters, and sometimes, maybe sometimes, but always we use these with capital letters, but sometimes the other part that's written in small letters. This is the use of a capital letter. You know, honors, these titles of honor, for example, we say the director of school education. So D, we never write small, we write capital. Chief education officer, we write C. So headmaster, we write H as capital. We not only that, but also the principal. So every title of honor that starts with a capital letter. So very important for a writer to think or to use these punctuation mark, to care about these punctuation marks. Then let me talk about this second thing, that is, because our sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop.
Full stop.
So I'll be talking about full stop
Yes,
now.
sir.
This full stop has many uses. First of all, at the end of a meaningful sentence.
Meaningful.
At the end of a
Meaningful
but we do not use full stop with two types of
Types of the
sentences that I've
sentences.
already told you, interrogative and
Interrogative and
exclamative.
Exclamatory.
There are dots that are used as full stop, not
stop.
other dots we have to use. And this full stop is also named as point. What?
Point.
Point.
Also period. What? Period. Also full point. So full stop, full point, period,
Time.
and point. Even dot sometimes we say. Now where do we use? With abbreviations also,
abbreviation.
because we put dot first of all at the end of a meaningful sentence, then with abbreviations,
Exactly.
with abbreviations
So it means that we can use two punctuation marks at the end of the sentence.
at the end of a,
Sentence.
not only at the end of the sentence, sometimes we use in the middle of a
Middle
sentence.
of the sentence.
Because
Okay, more than,
because these
one
punctuation marks sometimes these are, I was telling you about a comma.
Comma.
That is the shortest pause. Then when we talk about semicolon,
Yes,
that is the longer pause than a comma.
Comma.
So we also use them to clarify the meaning of clauses, the words, etc., etc.
Yes, sir.
And this full stop is, can you first of all tell me the difference between what I say, I have used here abbreviation and acronyms. What is acronym?
Acronym is opposite of words.
No. See, I'll write here, for example, I am writing here USA, okay?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we write like this, and I write here USSR, okay? Sometimes we write
form.
this.
Full
But
form.
most of all, when we talk about Mr. like this,
sir.
Mrs., Doctor, or ma'am, like this,
Yes, sir.
street, we don't need to put dot or full stop here because these are considered as full words.
Full words.
As
Full
so we, for example, we write Mr. here, and for its initial, we say initials, and this is Mr. This is Mr.
Mr.
Like this. We don't need to put, but in abbreviations we use. And I was telling here, for example, I'll write here, we can write it in two ways, AIDS or AIDS. Both are correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this is also an abbreviation, you know what is about, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I write here SAARC, for example. So this is abbreviation
Yes, sir.
as well as a full word,
Full word.
because the word that, or an abbreviation that can be a word, that can be pronounced as a like a word.
Yes, sir.
So that is acronym.
That's
So this is
acronym.
the difference between acronym and abbreviation.
Abbreviation.
So this is the use of full stop at the end of a sentence with some abbreviations, and even sometimes we write this with those things, with sometimes with semicolon. We also put a dot there, but that's not a full stop. There is a difference between that dot and the dot that we end a sentence. Okay, let me tell you about now note of interrogation. The same, I was telling you about this, what I say, capital letter, when we write anything in direct speech, that means the direct words of a speaker. There we use these punctuation marks, especially I was telling you about capital letter with reporting verb and reported speech. For example, I write here, he said, then we put comma, and here, he is a, or anyone, Mr. A is a good boy.
Good boy.
These are the words of he. But see here, H is capital, separated by a comma, this is a reporting verb,
Reported.
and here reported speech also begins with a capital letter. And Mr. A is here, that is a pronoun, that is a proper noun, that is a any noun. Then one more thing, I was telling you about note of interrogation. Why do we use this note of interrogation? It is also called as interrogation mark. Interrogation
Mark.
we always put this at the end of a question, at the end
At
of
the
a
end of the question.
Question.
and where we find these questions, we in English there are WH question
WH
words,
Yes, sir.
isn't it so? And can you give me any of the sentence as a question starting with WH?
What's your name?
Very good. What's your name? What is your
Your
name? But if I put here this, is it correct?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So that's what I am telling you.
Yeah.
So we have to put here
Question
this
mark.
thing and not add anything more. No, neither here nor here. I have seen, because I am a teacher, I have the experience of things, lot of things, seeing the teachers and the students, they put sometimes here, they put sometimes here, and they are not clear about these things. So that's why when we talk about interrogative sentences, we need not to put any full stop, because this dot is here full stop. It gives
Yes,
the function of a full stop. Okay?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a set of questions in my mind, but let me ask this one.
Yeah.
What is the importance of punctuation in speaking?
Yes, that's a very nice question. Very good question.
Thanks.
You know, when a reader, first of all, reads anything that is in front of him, when he reads, he must be a pure reader. Then he can be able to punctuate that. Like that, the listener can understand the meaning if he reads as the passage is written. But if he just reads, go on reading, the listener cannot understand what he means. Same is the case when we speak things. There, we use punctuation. For example, it is not seen that what kind of punctuation, but sometimes you pause.
Yes.
And there sometimes you just use high pitch, you use low pitch, you just wait for some time, and you give citrus sometimes to some words. So that is the need of punctuation in speaking.
Yes.
Citrus, tone, pitch, high pitch, low pitch,
low pitch.
that is actually the punctuation of speaking.
Speaking.
So that's very important for a speaker, whether his listener understands him or not. If he is not speaking in a good tone with correct pauses, then the listener can understand something else. So that's very important for listening, for this speaking. So here are hundreds of such questions, hundreds of,
Yes, sir.
that can be framed by WH words. And there are other words also. In English, there are auxiliaries, you know. What kinds of auxiliaries? Primary auxiliaries are there, and modal auxiliaries are there. When I talk about primary auxiliaries, if these are used in the beginning of a word, beginning of a sentence, do, does, did, have, has, had, is, am, are, was, were. If we use them in the beginning of words, always we have to use a capital letter. But I am not telling you here only that thing, but I am telling you here note of interrogation. When a sentence ends with these, starts with this, and there are other structures, other words, we put a punctuation mark like note of interrogation after that.
Excuse me,
And
sir.
sometimes,
I have a question.
Yes.
How can we check punctuation?
yes,
How can we check punctuation?
how can we set punctuation?
Check.
Check.
Check. That's very important. It's a very good question. I have already told you that students are just writing in their notebooks, but it is the work, it is the business of a teacher to see whether his student has written it correctly or not. Every punctuation mark should be taught separately. For example, if I want to teach my students just to know one day, just give them lot of exercise.
Yes, sir.
Teachers should try to give one punctuation mark one day. It is not easy just we can give all the punctuation marks in 2 days, in 3 days or 4 days. Yes, sir.
That's a very important question.
Yeah.
I would like to answer, how do we check punctuation?
Yeah.
Basically, the most important requirement for language is speaking. Language is for speaking.
Yes, sir.
Now, why do I write? I write to Niyaz Sahab because he's not available to be face to face.
Had it been face to face, I would speak. Writing requirement comes up because I cannot speak. If I could speak, I would not write. Now, if you understand what the writer writes,
Yes, sir.
now actually we say we should read what is written. No. As a student of language, I will tell you, you should be able to hear the writer speaking.
Yeah.
When the writer writes something, do you understand him? If you understand him, he has fully written very well. I will give an example. She arrived with her husband and 2 cats in a basket. She arrived with her husband and 2 cats in a basket. There is a terribly ambiguous sentence. Can she put her husband along with 2 cats in the basket? This is because you do not hear the writer, because he has not used proper punctuation. The writer should have used proper punctuation. Now, if the same sentence can be said, corrected, was punctuation. She arrived with her husband, comma, and 2 cats in her basket.
Yes, sir.
Now you hear him and you understand him.
Yes.
So punctuation can be checked. Do you understand? If you understand, yes, it is properly punctuated.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Philo. So once again, let me come to the point. It is not necessary that always when you find these question words in a sentence, and these can be interrogative.
Interrogative.
No, not necessary,
Yes,
because
sir.
it depends what kind of punctuation mark is at the end. For example, I write here, what beautiful
What a beautiful
flower.
flower.
Can I put this punctuation mark here?
No, sir.
No, not at all. So we have to put,
Exclamatory mark.
because this sentence tells us something else. It's
Yes,
not a
sir.
question.
Meaning is different.
Meaning is different.
Yes, sir.
Now, it is not only necessary that only these words, these question words,
words.
can start with a question. Sometimes, as my boss has just given you an idea or a very, very good example, that a reader should, at least a listener should understand what the speaker wants to tell
wants to
us.
convey.
And sometimes, for example, you met me earlier, then you are telling me, sir, I have seen you yesterday at bazaar. How? I was not there. So even the body language in speaking, that tells. Or, sir, I have seen a very intelligent boy. Mr. A is very intelligent, but I have already met him. He knows nothing about things. So I say, intelligent? See, intelligent, once again a question. And even I can put this exclamation. So it depends upon the writer now,
Right.
whether he puts exclamation mark or question.
mark.
Because he tells you that if he puts exclamation mark, it means that maybe he may thinking, yes, he is very intelligent. Or if he puts note of interrogation, it means that how is this possible?
How is he intelligent?
Not at all. So even these punctuation marks, even when a teacher or when a reader reads any passage, we must think that he is talking to someone. Because punctuation, when we find some writing, it is actually speaking through a pen. What is this writing? Speaking. Somebody is speaking, but he is speaking through a pen. So that's, we must understand this kind of punctuation, what he actually means to say. Now,
a question.
yeah,
In the beginning of a name of a season, there is no use of capital letter. Why is it so?
yes, sometimes, very good question, because we have some rules here. When we are talking about days, names of months,
Yes, sir.
we there use capital letter. But in the beginning of some seasons or other things also, we do not use. We use small letters. Not we as students, we as teachers must know these things. As I have given you some examples about Mr., Mrs., ma'am, etc., etc. These are doctor, these are considered as the complete words nowadays.
Yes.
So sometimes we do not. But this full stop, what you are talking about, we write this. I have already told you that initials, we use even this dot with when we write only some letters, not full letters. Now one more thing about this I am telling you about note of interrogation. We generally use this, no, I was telling you about, yes, note of interrogation. This is generally used at the end of a question, of a whether it starts with an auxiliary, with a modal, or with a WH question. And sometimes with simpler words we also use. So that depends what the writer means to say. Clear?
Exactly.
Then another thing, note of interrogation. This note of interrogation. And note of interrogation is also used here with something that sometimes not with those sentences which are assertive or which are as imperative sentence. We don't use, because I have already told you that sometimes we use only these, but not with, we cannot mix it with other sentences also. Only when you come to know what the reader means to say. Then let me tell you about these inverted commas. Inverted commas, or these are also called as the quotation marks.
Yes.
There is a little bit of difference, I will tell you. This is the direct speech, the direct words of a speaker. Direct words of a speaker we always keep in inverted commas. And just you have one more rule in English, that is narration. You generally see this. Why? Because then we change that into indirect form. So direct words of a speaker, and sometimes quotations, sometimes
Quotation.
But you know, there is one more thing, that we put this quotation into inverted commas.
Inverted commas.
For example, he said, do you know, do you,
Do you know?
comma, honesty is the
Best,
best policy. Here, quote within the quote, quote within the,
Quote.
and there we can use single comma generally. Otherwise there is no difference between, we can even use with the direct form as single commas. Okay? Then there is comma. When I talk about comma, this is the shortest pause in a sentence, very shortest pause. And where do we use? With nouns, with verbs, with adverbs. I'll give you some examples here. I have written here, for example, Saba is intelligent,
Intelligent, tall, beautiful.
comma, tall,
Beautiful.
comma, beautiful, and good-natured girl.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
See here, tall, intelligent, good-natured. What are these words?
They are quality.
Adjectives. They are qualifying word. Okay. Then Adiba has pens, comma, pencils, comma, books, and paper in her bag. What are these words?
Nouns.
Nouns. See, different words as nouns, we put comma after every word. So this is when we are talking about words. One more sentence here. Nurain, here one more. Manan did homework neatly. Manan did homework neatly. Comma,
Quickly.
quickly, and correctly. So adverbs.
Adverb.
So we have not mixed these.
So is it grammatically correct to put in comma before and?
Yes,
Okay, because
We
you
use
haven't
it.
used comma before and in these sentences
definitely,
that you
sure.
mentioned.
Because here I can sometimes, this is correct. Sometimes we use comma, before and.
Before and.
That too is correct. But when we give many examples. So let me tell you one more use of apostrophe. When I talk about apostrophe, this is the proper use. Students sometimes get confused. This is used with possessions. For example, possessions, and the second I can write with contractions. Let me first of all tell you about possessions.
Yes, sir.
I can say Rashid's book. So where I have put this comma? This is also called a raised comma. What?
Raised comma.
And I have put it before S because I am telling a singular thing. If I say GIRLS, school,
Girls' school.
Will come after S.
so I have to use it.
After S.
So this is plural. And I have come here, I have seen drivers union. Drivers
Union.
a board outside, there it is written like this, drivers union. Is it correct or incorrect?
It's incorrect.
So I have seen
Incorrect.
outside it is written drivers union. Is it correct or incorrect?
It's incorrect.
It is incorrect. Where should be the comma?
After the
After.
Upside, here after S with plural. One more thing, sometimes even there are the words that are plural. For example, I'll write here girls school. Now I'll hear it child. What is it plural?
Children.
Very good. Children. Now I have to say CHILDRENS. Children's hospital. Where can you put? Before or
After S.
after?
After S.
No, there are some exceptions. Here we have to use it before. Like that. WOMENS. Women's college. Where do you think is correct?
Before S.
Before
Before
S.
S.
Here it is S. Because it is when
Plural.
it is plural. When it is
Plural.
noun is plural there. And
Yes, sir.
with S, there we have to take it into consideration that we have to use it before. That is very important. So this is, now let me talk about contractions. There are hundreds of contractions in English where we use this. For example, I'll write here positives as well as negatives. For example, they, what is this?
They are.
Isn't it so?
Yes.
Yes.
And I have used isn't it like this, ISN comma T, isn't it? So like this. And one more thing that I've forgotten, this I, please remember this. This is always written in as a capital.
Yes, sir.
Always capital. When it is separate in a sentence. When it is in the middle of a sentence, then not. Okay, then there are other uses of punctuation. There is colon, hyphen, italics, there
Underline.
are there is underline, quotation marks,
and
and parentheses, brackets.
brackets.
And these are only some of the uses of these
marks,
punctuation marks. And you know, these punctuation marks are very important, and it is not that I have not the time to tell all the punctuation marks today. So inshallah, some next day I'll come again
Inshallah.
and I'll discuss
Thank
more
you, sir.
things with you. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you. Yes.
The meaning of sentence for us. It's really disaggregated the meaning because we had so many of the confusions. I personally usually found this word this drivers union as an apostrophe S. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, sir.
It
Thank
was
you.
really a beautiful lecture by Hassan War Sahab. We'll be back after a short while. Let's take a break.
Thank you.
No doubt, viewers, that a teacher should really love to teach. And we had an example of this panel, both GH War and Rafi Masoodi Saab really love to teach because they come from a very longer distances to this studio for having and for sharing the knowledge, for having here and sharing the knowledge to you people. But it's very important there also that you should also love to learn. We should love to learn. For that, if you really love, you can call us on our phone numbers. These are scrolled down the line, or you can email us on our email ID, ddkteleclassroom@gmail.com. We had our first love with us for Shafat Ahmad. Hello, welcome to Tele Class Room.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to Tele Class Room.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
To separate relative clause from the rest of the sentence.
Ji.
Yes.
You got the question?
Yes, I
You got, please.
With the rest of the relative clause, क्या होता है, sir?
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Sir,
What is it? Okay, I've forgotten this thing here. If we put comma, for example, I have my brother, who is a doctor, works in Delhi. So when I put comma, my brother, after my brother,
yes, sir.
then who is a doctor, once again comma, this is the relative clause I am telling about,
Okay.
then is in Delhi.
Is in
So this is called as non-defining, non-defining. there are two kinds of relative clauses where we use generally these relative pronouns, like who, which, that, whose, where also. So relative clause means where we use these relative pronouns just to tell you about the person. That is what relative clause means.
I would like to add to
yes,
that.
sir. Please, sir.
My brother, comma, who is a doctor, is in Delhi.
Yeah.
Actually, we want to tell the listener, my brother is in Delhi.
Okay.
Who is a doctor is additional information.
That's
It does not
relative
define who brother. Even if we don't use this, who is a doctor,
Doctor. Okay.
the meaning will be conveyed.
So that is a relative clause.
That is
We
the
had,
relative
we had one more caller. एक और caller हमारे साथ है शिराज मंसूर बीरवा से. अस्सलाम वालेकुम. अस्सलाम वालेकुम शिराज साहब.
Sir, I am very highly thankful to you for bringing this iconic personality on the stage today.
Before you will say that, I will let you know we have earlier discussed that you had said the topic of paragraph writing and letter writing. That will be inshallah the next topic on the English will be the same.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any other question for
Sir,
today?
today's was an eye-opener for students as well as teachers also. The respected sir has not given any chance to find any negative point or any question in this in his lecture.
So
today my suggestion is please continue the lecture on next Sunday also.
Okay, matlab same topic.
To let
We
it
will see the
complete,
availabilities and other schedule of our program, and we will try to do the same. Thank you so much for calling. Sir, how to master, how to correct ourselves in context to the punctuations. For example, if I'm not in the field of the English, we are in the different fields and we are not doing the good in the punctuation, how can we correct, sir?
Actually, there are three basic requirements for writing.
Yes, sir.
Number one, the first most important need is choice of words. We must select appropriate words.
Okay.
Where good is required, I must write good. Where excellent is required, I must write excellent.
Okay.
Where beautiful is required, I must write beautiful. Where handsome is required, I must write handsome.
Handsome, okay.
Appropriate words are most important. Number two, appropriate word order. Appropriate choice of words, appropriate word order, and third is appropriate punctuation. You can do without punctuation. The lesser the punctuation, the better it is.
Okay.
If you have appropriate word order, you have appropriate words,
selection of the words.
Then there is no need of punctuation. The problem is that the writer must make things easier for the reader to understand.
Okay.
The lesser punctuation marks you use, the better.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, exam point of view से अगर हम देखें, how important is this punctuation for having a better score in English subject?
So as per examination is concerned, and we find this rule in every class. It is not only in higher classes, it is from the beginning, from 5th primary up to MA level.
Okay.
This is very important as per examination.
So we had an email, Atika Javed from Magam Brain. She writes to us, after a long time, this beautiful panel is back in the show. It's all efforts by the DTK Srinagar. Lecture was good. So does the rules of the punctuation vary with the location, time, or any other thing else?
Yes, they do.
They do change.
They do change. There are different variations. For example, one variation is between American and British punctuation.
Okay.
There are variations. In British, this punctuation, you use full stop after doctor, as War Sahab said, after doctor, after a Mr., after Mrs. In British, we don't use it.
We don't use it. Okay.
Then there is also difference in terminology also. In American English, we have period.
Okay.
In British English, we called it full stop.
Full stop. Okay.
In American English, we call it parenthesis. In British English, we called it brackets.
So it simply we can say with such examples also it changes with the location.
That is
also.
one thing.
That's one thing.
Then
does any other thing?
I am with my teacher.
Okay.
My question will be totally different. I am with my students. The style of my question will be different.
Okay.
It changes.
Depends on. We had a regular caller with us, MK Bhatt from Delhi. Welcome to Tele Class Room.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sir, please switch off the volume of your TV set first.
My subject I want to tell the concerned teacher here.
सर आप अपने टीवी सेट का वॉल्यूम पहले बंद कीजिए सर,
Thank you,
प्लीज
thank you.
प्लीज।
He has given about the epistrophe, codes, everything, which are essential for English subject.
Yes,
He
sir.
has given, one thing I want to tell, excuse me, to the teacher,
यस सर,
that you had spoken woman without her man is incomplete. No, it is not. Woman without man is incomplete.
Yeah.
Her is not necessary because it's a universal touch of speaking in the proud way.
Okay.
No, don't use her. Woman, it is accepted that woman is not man. Whether it's married or unmarried, it's woman. Next thing is that the export is for American. American don't adopt American. American is going on English. It is called English. But adopt England English.
Okay.
Oxford English. That's it. I want to tell it is a pursuit to go for punctuation. Very necessary. And
Okay.
what is the fun of the literature and language?
जी,
Bahai dryer, lड़की पकान bahai dryer महल को लगता है की रोई.
Okay, sir.
महल किधर?
ओके सर,
रुकी है. चले bahai लगे दवा. हटा महल लोग जाते.
Okay, sir.
हटा bahai piping way. No, these are punctual. Like semicolon is used, comma is used, punctuation is used. This is just like our language of Kashmir.
Okay.
In dramatic this is used. Dramas without punctuation is incomplete. Please follow this. It's English just like Kashmiri languages.
Okay.
We are not speaking good Kashmiri. Actually,
you,
it's
sir.
the
Thank you.
Pahari Kashmiri that is the real Kashmiri.
थैंक यू
I
सर for
quote,
beautiful
no,
message and
That is the Oxford touch of English in this.
Thank you,
They are
sir. Thank you, sir.
Englishmen, they speak on fast.
beautiful sir, beautiful on your part. Sir,
Qualified literate persons do not.
Rafi sahab will like to respond here, sir. Please, sir.
In response to the question asked
First
by,
with her, first
That's
the question.
correct because that
Rafi sir.
structure is correct. Woman without her man is nothing.
Nothing.
That is the structure, and that is the correct structure.
Structure, okay.
As per sir, he says that there should be
The
no
her is
need
not
of her.
important.
So, woman without man is nothing. That too is correct. But I have just quoted this sentence in order to tell the viewers that what is the importance of this comma.
This comma, okay.
these
Sir.
are actually two different sentences. Women without her husband, without her man is incomplete.
Yeah.
This her man refers to her husband.
Yeah.
Woman
Without
woman
man.
without man is
That is
incomplete.
generalized.
Is in a generic, in a general
So
sense.
that is the correct
Both the
sentence.
sentences are correct. One thing. Another important point is that in response to this daughter's
Sarish.
Sarish's question, I said that I gave a sentence. She arrived with her husband and two cats in her basket. An ambiguous sentence. Then we used punctuation mark.
Okay.
She arrived with her husband, comma, and two cats in a basket.
Yes, sir.
Ambiguity is removed a little.
Yes.
But as I said earlier, we can do without punctuation. Now I use word and. She arrived with her husband and two cats in her basket. Comma is not also required.
Yeah.
This is very simple to understand, very clear to understand. No ambiguity, no problem.
No problem at all.
So the lesser the punctuation is used, the better.
Better.
But that is a lot of practice and a lot of experience.
Experience.
When
And
you
first
get
selection
up,
of the
when you
exact
go up,
words and
when you go up, then you will by learn.
by learn. We had one more caller from Hyderpura, Gulam Nabi Nair हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं. Welcome to Tele Class Room. Hello, welcome to Tele Class Room. Are you on the line, sir?
Yeah, I'm on line.
Yes, sir. Please.
Welcome you, sir. First of all, accept my hello.
Thank you.
I congratulate all the host and the expert on the Tele Class Room.
Thank you, sir.
My
Thank you.
question is, what is the difference between comma and hyphen? Now,
Okay.
today we use hyphen or double hyphen.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Can Mr. War explain it?
Yes, sir. We had an expert. We can. Sir,
So
please,
these are two different things, comma and hyphen.
Yes, sir.
Hyphen is a dash
Okay.
that we generally use. It is an eclipse. Sometimes when we want to remove, when we want to omit some words in a sentence, some words in a sentence,
Yes, sir.
and some part of a sentence, we write this dash.
Dash, okay.
But where we use comma, that means we have to write something more.
Something more.
So these are two different
Two
things.
differences between them.
I like to
You want to add, sir?
respond
Please.
to this.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'll give you 4 sentences.
Okay.
I saw Ali and Zeba.
Okay.
I saw Ali and Zeba.
Zeba.
That means Ali and Zeba are husband and wife. I saw Ali and Zeba.
Okay.
Next sentence, I saw Ali, comma, and Zeba.
Okay.
Now this is a different meaning.
Okay.
I am simply listing. I saw Ali, I saw Zeba.
Zeba.
They are from different places.
Try to understand. I saw Ali and Zeba means I saw husband wife Ali and Zeba.
Okay.
I saw Ali, comma,
Okay.
and Zeba. Different. And then I saw Ali hyphen and Zeba. It is simply when I say I saw Ali, I also had a chance to see Zeba.
Zeba. Okay.
There's a difference between
So
a
so
comma,
simply we can say like that by using the exact punctuation we can change the relations between
total
the
meaning of the
meaning
total
and the
meaning of the
relation.
sentence changes.
And this
That's very
ambiguations will be cleared.
Ambiguity will go.
Will
Total
be
meaning
clear.
of the sentence.
Okay, thank you. It was really beautiful. We had an email from Gulamuddin Sofi. It's a long association with your program. Congrats for maintaining the quality. Today's presentation is in the need of the hour, and we are grateful that it was carried by our renowned English teacher Gulam Hassan War. My great salam and salutes to him also. My also suggestion to use the digital board and OHP or had a projector. I think that will erase the work of the resource person. And thanks again for providing the free class teaching to all the students who may not otherwise access to the paid coaching from Professor Gulamuddin Sofi Baramulla. It was really honored to have your email here. Thank you so much for emailing with such love. Salim Malik hame likhte hai, Assalamu alaikum. Tele Class Room was good thanks to this. Today's Tele Class Room was good thanks to DDK Kashir. Do we have to put comma or the full stop for an indirect question like I wonder if he would go with me?
There we have to use not comma, but we have to use full stop.
Sir.
Now, there are two different types of questions. Direct question and indirect question. I'll give the example. What's your name? It's a direct question.
Okay.
What's your name? I
Okay.
have to use a question mark. Now I use the same question as an indirect question. I don't know what your name is.
Yes. Okay.
Now see, Mark, there's a great special difference
Between the two.
What is your name? What is your name? Question word what? Then is verb your name. If I make this into a statement, your name is what? Your name comes first, then is, then what? In a statement, subject should come first, then verb. Subject plus verb.
Okay.
But when it's a question, the order changes.
And we have
If
to
the
put full
order does
stop.
not change, it is not a question.
Okay. So we had.
Just I would like to clarify.
Okay, please.
I don't know what your name is. What your name? I will change what is your name to what your name
Is.
Then we
If I don't change this word order, my sentence is totally inappropriate.
Great, okay.
So indirect question, you must not have the order of the question.
Okay, so we'll take a call very quickly. Mohammed Ibrahim from Tral. Welcome to Tele Class Room. Hello, welcome to Tele Class Room. Walaikum assalam.
ये ग्रामर तो आपने यहाँ ये इंग्लिश में बताई बहुत अच्छी थी
जी।
इसकी मैं आपको मुबारक पूरी टीम को देता हूँ
शुक्रिया बहुत शुक्रिया।
इसका और भी टाइम बढ़ाया जाए ये मेरा सवाल है कि इसका जो ग्रामर यहाँ टीचिंग करते हैं
जी।
इसका टाइम वो भी बढ़ाया जाए।
ओके,
जी
थैंक यू sir, thank you so much, sir. We had limitations of the time. We had been doing all this clearing all this ambiguations, sir. I'm very thankful, GH War, Rafi Masoodi साहब बहुत शुक्रिया and very blessed and thankful. And I'm very thankful to all the students and especially this special guest today's Sahrish Gul, and thankful to viewers also, the viewers who had helped us and give us suggestions, asked us questions, all these things. Very thankful for today's support and for this show. So.
Yeah, and friends, in case you want more out of the show, do check out our YouTube channel. And indeed, you can also watch all the other episodes of Tele Class Room right there and put your suggestions as well. So see you next week. Stay blessed, you all. Allah Hafiz Nasir.